Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning, happy Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, January 14th, Wednesday of the first week in Ordinary Time. The Christmas season is over. Christmas season ended last Sunday with the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord. So now we are back in Ordinary Time. First week in Ordinary Time, and I'm going to stay in Ordinary Time for basically one more month until February 18th, which is Ash Wednesday, when Lent begins. So back to Ordinary Time, back to green, and we started to read from first book of Samuel. The past couple of days we've been reading about the birth of Samuel, this great seer, this prophet, one anointed David, the miraculous birth of Samuel, because his mother couldn't have children, was barren, but she received a visit of an angel who announced to her that her plea had been listened by God, and God listened to her prayers and was going to grant her a son. Now, in today's reading, it's a very famous passage, very graphic, so to speak. Sorry. Because it describes this a voice who calls Samuel in the sleep. Very vivid description of what happened. The child didn't know anything about God, as the book of Samuel says, but he hears his voice 3 times, and he thought his mentor, Eli, this priest, was calling him. Instead, it was God calling him. So for 3 times, Samuel wakes up and goes to Eli, asking if he had called him. And the 3rd time, Eli, I guess, was half asleep, clearly, finally realized that if it wasn't him who was calling the youth, it mustn't be God. So he told Samuel, okay, go back, and if you hear a voice again, if you get called again, say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. It's a very beautiful story. To be honest with you, when I was a child, I was hoping to have the same type of experience that Samuel had. I was hoping to hear the voice of God in the sleep. Sometimes I would, after having heard this passage of book of Samuel in Mass, I would go back home at night and I would just pay attention, see if God would call me. I wanted to have the privilege to be called by God, be called by name. Of course, this didn't happen. But God called me in a different way, through events, things that happened, and people called me to serve Him as a priest. I'm pretty sure the same happened to you. If you're married, God called you to get married when you met your future spouse. And that saying is true for all of us. All of us have a calling. God is calling us. God calls us every day. Of course, there is a calling with regards to life, priesthood or consecrated life or marriage, but there is a calling that actually we receive every day, the call to serve God every day. God is calling us to serve Him as we are. Priests, lay people, married, single, young, old, students, teachers, workers, street cleaners, all of us, healthy, sick. God calls us every day to do His will. God calls us to serve Him every day. What should we do? Just serve Him in our situation. As students, teachers, I was saying, and old, young, alone. If you're alone, if you're sick, or if you are people, we are healthy. We need. God is calling us to serve Him within our condition, situation in life. And so, in this sense, the responsorial psalm of today, the response that we said today, "Here I am, Lord. Here am I, Lord. I come to do Your will." That's the best prayer. God calls us to serve Him. What should we do? We should respond in the same way, like Samuel responded, like Jesus did in the Garden of Olives. "Here am I, Lord. here I am. I'm here, Lord. I come to do your will. I'm here to do your will. That's the only thing that matters in life, to do God's will. So to pray, asking God to show us His will, to reveal us His will, to help us understand what His will for us is, what His plan for us is. But also need to pray for the greater availability in doing God's will. So here I am, Lord. I am here. I come to do your will. Take care and God bless.